Hey, yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Mambas Legacy Podcast. I'm joined here with the more level-headed Philly fans. Just say what's up, man. Plug your stuff. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm Eric Perugini from the CEV Sports Podcast Network. We have our own show, the Philly Podcast. Go figure. Um, but no, man, people can check us out on Twitter at CEV Sports and Sports at Sports CEV. We have one for the podcast and one for the network. So, but we're all over the place. And yeah, man, so it's just good to talk to you.
Hey, great to talk to you. Remember, guys, the links will be in the description to their stuff. And we're here to talk Philadelphia basketball. What's next for these guys? These guys are on one rocky road, and we got to dive right into it. And let's dive in with the first big bomb. Ben Simmons hasn't been returning the calls. He's on the trade market. What's going to happen there? What is your predictions about Ben Simmons and where he'll end up?
Well, first prediction is probably going to be 2 or 3 more off-season workout videos, just to show that he can shoot and everybody can, say, hey, look at that, he can do it. Actually, I think Morey does have something in the works. I don't know what he's going to get for him at this point because this time of year is very tough to make a trade. Mm-hmm. It's really tough. Like, you had your shot at the draft, didn't work. He may have priced himself out of trading him. Who knows? There's a lot of reports that he wanted like a huge haul for him. But I think ultimately he may get moved right before the season starts. Mm-hmm. Because I don't see it being a trade deadline deal because, he, like you said, he's not returning calls to the players, especially to the front office. Mm-hmm. So, and he's just all over social media. He's doing his thing and he's just kind of like, whatever, it is what it is. But I think at some point they're going to move him. They can't bring him back. Not after that layup that he passed up in the playoff game. Like, you could hear the crowd just one collective, like, really? Did he just do that? So when you do that, the fans are out. They're out on him. Mm-hmm. Just done.
Ben Simmons, though, he still has a bunch of talent. I think we can both agree on that. He has a bunch of talent, and the Sixers do deserve some sort of package for him. And in my opinion, I still think there's a shot out for a Dame. I think Dame is like the most realistic. Portland, all they've done has gotten worse. I don't know if Dame wants to be there. He keeps saying he does, but sooner or later he wants to win a ring, and he's obviously not going to do that in Portland the way they're going. The Philadelphia 76ers, I think they could potentially have the best package for him. I think Morey would have to maybe give up more than Simmons, though. I believe you might even have to throw Thibault in there in 2 seconds. I think that'd be more realistic, and I think the Blazers would be more willing to do that. I believe that would be the smart move, but Philadelphia is kind of like I said, they're on a rocky road right now. How would you feel about Dame's swap with Ben Simmons?
Well, yeah, you lose out like age-wise. Okay, mm-hmm. That's obvious. I agree with you. I think Ben still has tremendous talent. I've always said his big thing was just develop a jump shot. Just develop a jump shot and you're good. Even Kobe Bryant said in an interview, the only thing that he was missing was a jump shot. So how do you not listen to Kobe Bryant? Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think the trade would work out fine. I really do. Dame is one. I consider him like a top 10 player in the league. Mm-hmm. So it'll definitely work. I really think it'll work if he comes here. I know on local radio, every day they have the one show. They got fans like pleading for Dame Lillard to request a trade to leave Portland. But like, you're right, Portland's got nothing to offer. They're obviously not doing anything to help him. So does he want to leave? Does he not want to leave? Maybe he's pulling a Rich Harden type deal. Maybe he's just going to wait it out and then boom, he's gone. So we'll see. But I do think something's going to happen.
I do kind of see him doing that Harden thing. I think he might. There's a chance that he's doing this so he doesn't completely gut the Sixers because, well, they wouldn't be completely gutted, but obviously they'd have to give up a bit more than they'd like. I think down the line he's going to wait for all the teams to make their final roster spots fill up and see exactly where he wants to go. I still think Philadelphia should be the top of the list. I think him and Embiid would be dominant. Embiid right now has to get out the paint so often. He's taking more jumpers than he wants to because Ben Simmons has to go. Ben Simmons needs the paint because Ben Simmons cannot shoot.
Right.
So, I mean, Embiid's game would only get better, and Embiid was playing it at an MVP caliber level before he went down, unfortunately, which unfortunately happens a bit too much for anybody's liking. But if Damian Lillard's on that team, who rarely misses games, I think the Philadelphia 76ers are really going to be going neck and neck. They have the defense, in my opinion, to keep up with the Nets. I still think, you need more development from like guys like Thibault and Maxey to really compete with them. But I think you develop this team the right way. I think Doc Rivers is a good defensive coach. I don't think he's terrible on that end. Uh, I think you have a shot at competing with them. I don't think it's a done deal, but I believe you move past the likes of the Heat, who they've gotten a little bit better with that. Well, quite a bit better. Kyle Lowry is a huge addition to any team. He brings that playmaking, that leadership. I believe that you're neck and neck with the Bucks. I know they just won the finals, but we're not going to sit and say that it wasn't, they didn't have the injury path to the finals. Not going to take that away from them. We don't want a Mickey Mouse ring 2.0.
Right.
But definitely I see them competing in the top three spot in the Eastern Conference.
Oh yeah, I mean I do too. And after what happened with them having the number one seed, I mean they were just embarrassed off the court. They
Mhm.
really were. And I think the addition of Dame, like you said, he doesn't miss time. He's a good shooter. He's got a good basketball IQ, so he's definitely going to help out Embiid.
Mhm.
It's and you're right. It is the most likely destination for him.
Mhm.
So I'm I'm with you. I think they get him. That they are definitely in the top three seeds. I mean,
Mhm.
maybe the number one seed again because they have a really good defense. It all comes down to, for me, like what they do if there's a trade for Dame Lillard and what they give up. Because out here there was talks of, Portland wanted Maxey and Thibault
Mhm.
and like 2 1s. I don't see them doing that. I really don't, because that would, like you said, gut the Sixers.
Mhm.
Because Maxey played a lot better than people expected him to, and I really don't want to see them give him up. I
Mhm.
really don't. I like him. Now, I mean, they did go and draft Jaden Springer, but he's no Maxey in my opinion.
Mhm.
So it'll be interesting.
I do believe that either Thibault or Maxey would have to go in that deal. I don't think they should give up both of them, obviously. And in
Right.
my opinion, I'd rather give up Maxey than Thibault. I think Thibault is going to be a star of this league one day. But honestly, this Sixers roster, it's solid all the way through. And I think one of the untouchable players that should be nowhere near this trade, I think, is actually Seth Curry. He's extremely underrated in this league. He's one of the best 3-point shooters out there. Ben Simmons was playing like pretty bad crap against the Atlanta Hawks series. Seth Curry was right there keeping you guys in the game. He was
Mm-hmm.
putting up 20 points a night like it was nothing, and he was Embiid's second option that series. I
Yes,
think
he was.
Seth Curry deserves a starting spot this year. I think he's going to get it. And I think there's no way in hell the 76ers should get rid of him.
Yeah, no, I don't think they should get rid of him either. And you're right. I feel that after how he played last year, he deserves to get that starting nod. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, he's got a great 3-point percentage in his career. He's really good. I mean, runs in the family,
Mm-hmm.
so it's real well. But I agree with you though. I think if it came down to it, they would probably have to bend on Maxey
Mm-hmm.
and put him into a deal. But uh, like, you also got Danny Green, who came back. He signed a deal to come back, which I was kind of iffy about it,
Mm-hmm.
but it kind of helps, the depth and everything. So I'll definitely take it. But no, you're right. Seth needs to be here for at least a couple more years. He definitely does.
Mm-hmm. I think he's what you guys wanted Danny Green originally to be when he came down here. I
Yep.
do believe that Danny Green, his defense still goes under the radar of a lot of players and a lot of teams. I don't think they look at his defense well enough. He's his career is slowly turning down to where I believe Wesley Matthews has kind of gone. He gets slower every year, and he's slowly becoming a little less effective. I still think he has maybe 2-3 years where he can be in a rotation of a competing team because he's not the most consistent guy there is in the league. But when he does go off, he will go off and he will win you a game. And I
Mhm.
believe he's extremely valuable in that sense. I believe you didn't overpay for him. You got him for a good price. The 76ers are pretty good at not overpaying their players. You just signed a Joel Embiid to an extension. I think that's a huge thing. I mean, what was your reaction to Embiid getting the deal done?
Well, to tell you the truth, I was really shocked that it happened now because
Mm-hmm.
we still have him under contract for 2 more years under his regular deal. But I think they realized, at least Daryl Morey, He realizes what they have in Embiid, and he's the centerpiece. He was the process, so he was what it was. So they locked him up. They have him till 2026, 27, and it was just a massive deal. And I honestly, with the way Embiid plays, his injury history and stuff like that, I think it was smart for him to sign this deal now. And I think it just works all the way around for the Sixers. It really does.
In my opinion, if Ben Simmons leaves, I think the injuries will actually cut down on Embiid. He's going to be asked to do less things. He's not going to be required to move around the entire court. He's going to be, okay, get down the court, play defense in both paints. That's it. And that's where he's really going to thrive. Like I said, I think he's going to become a 28, 29 point per game scorer in that sense, because nobody can guard him in the paint. I think we can just make that clear. I think defenders take a sigh of relief when he takes a jump shot. It's like he still could make this, but oh my God, I'm not getting an elbow to my chest. Because Embiid, Rudy Gobert looks like a little kid playing Embiid. So Embiid being able to take all his shots in the paint, I mean, I'm fine with him shooting a mid-range once, twice a game, but when he's sitting there doing it 5, 6, 7 times again, I'm like, he could easily convert those in the paint. Why is he settling for jumpers? It's a bit, in my opinion, like how AD plays sometimes. I hate when AD is at the 3-point line or taking mid ranges, when he's like another player that a lot of players struggle to guard in the paint. And hopefully the 76ers have got this sorted out. You did sign Andre Drummond. You're gonna hate him. I'm warning you now. He has the lowest efficiency in the paint by a center. There was plays where he was guarding somebody from the 3 and leaving the center open in the paint. But if there is anybody that can maybe make him better in the paint, it's going to be Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid's the one player who can maybe grab Andre Drummond and tell him, hey, fucking do this. And I think Joel Embiid is the perfect matchup for Drummond. I don't believe Drummond will be back. I think that's kind of a gimme. I don't think, because Andre Drummond, he's going to want more money. And you guys have your center. You can plug any XYZ behind Embiid, and they're going to play solid because they have, they're just picking up Embiid's leftovers. But a lot of positions on this team are very deep. I think you're arguably the second, maybe third deepest team in the league. I still think the Nuggets are arguably the deepest team there is.
I agree. But
the 76ers, their depth is extremely underrated. They could have Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons out last year, and they could still be competing with a team. So that was something that really stood out to me with the Philadelphia 76ers. They've got not too much further to go. I mean, if you can I think the best thing that could happen right now is if Tobias Harris plays more consistent. At the beginning of last year, he played all-star starter minutes, and then he kind of sloped off towards the end of the year. I mean, what are your thoughts on Toby?
I like Toby. I really do. Like when they got him, when they first got him, I thought, okay, this is a good player, young kid. We'll see what he can do. And then when they got Doc, I was really excited because under Doc, he had his best season ever. And first season with him again, he had an amazing season again. So I would hate to, because there was talk about out here where people just wanted to get rid of one of these big contracts. They didn't care if it was Tobias Harris or Ben Simmons, or in some cases both, which I was like, wait a second. You're not, Ben, fine, but you're really going to hurt the team if you move Tobias Harris. So I think Tobias Harris in this system, his familiarity with Doc, and now his familiarity with Embiid and some of these other players, I think they do have a core to work with. And with him, Seth, I wish with Seth, I'm really happy. I'm really comfortable with it. So, but yeah, I love Toby. I really do. I like his game. Like he can, like you said, he can bring it. He can really bring it. Like he'll disappear for a little bit, but then he has that punch in the face. He just takes it over.
He's like a boxer. You think he's out of energy, and then out of nowhere, KO.
He's our Rocky.
There we go. I mean, he is one of those guys that no matter how down he is, he still has a chance to just tear up, take over a game. It could be fourth quarter, he shot terribly the entire game. Oh, he just dropped 25. So Tobias Harris is extremely underrated. But as the series that I'm doing suggests, what's next? What are your expectations coming into this season?
Ooh, I mean, it's a little early to tell, but
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it really depends on what happens personnel wise, with Ben. Um, I if they make the right moves and they get rid of a cancer like him, and they if they make the trade that like pretty much every NBA fan thinks they're going to make for Dame Lillard, my expectations going on just that would be championship. Would absolutely be championship. And I am saying it.
Ooh. Ooh, as a Laker fan here, you're going to get a little bit of a disagreement from me because
Oh, I got you.
that's our 18th championship they're getting ready. But in all seriousness, I do believe, and I'm going to lower the bar in my opinion a bit better. My expectations for the 76ers, I think they've gotten, if they get rid of Ben, for any solid guy, anybody that can come in and play every game like 70 games a season consistently, I think they're conference championship bound for sure. I don't think what happens against the Hawks happens again. That was really hard to watch, but I think that you guys are almost set in stone that you'll be in the conference championship. I believe the Nets will be too. And the only other person I could say maybe stands a threat is the Boston Celtics. You can't really overlook them by too much. Jason Tatum continues to get better every year. Same with Brown. And like Marcus Smart signed a new extension. He's going to be a pest for you guys for a long time. But they're the only real team I can see maybe knocking you out of the conference championship. I find that less unlikely than likely. But you guys do have a chance. I believe it's a 7-game series with the Nets. Winner takes all, 50-50 on that last game. Because I mean, you can't outlook Kevin Durant and all of them. I believe the Bucks are going to have the post-final slump. I think they're going to get matched up with the Nets too early. And if the Nets are healthy, I think we all saw what was going to happen if they were healthy again. I mean, it was 1 inch away from them going home. So the Bucks, I believe, are going to have a little bit of a slump. I believe they'll be back sooner. Don't worry about them. But 76ers, I easily see that. I easily see you guys competing in the finals, though, making it against us. You like your chances?
I really do. They have great depth.
Mm-hmm.
Like you were talking about, they have great depth. I mean, yes, it does help you guys have LeBron James. But I think at some point, Father Time's got to catch up to Bron at some point. It has to. I mean, he is doing his best Tom Brady impression, on the basketball court. He just keeps going, and he's seemingly getting better.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's what I like about LeBron James, though. I mean, like, I'm not per se like a huge LeBron James fan. I'm in that category of people. But I give him credit because he knows what he has to do to extend his career. He knows how to change his game. He knows in certain game situations, okay, I don't need to be the guy right now. So I mean, he's smart, and I like players that have a good basketball IQ. And it's not just a point guard, running an offense. It's literally knowing the other team, knowing the players on that team, knowing your own team. He's just smart, and I'll always give him credit for that.
I will respect that. That is one hell of a statement to say. He's one of the very few players I've seen modify his game over the years to play his best basketball. Like, he's not 2014 dunking over everybody anymore. Now he's pass first and he's getting 8 assists a game like it's nothing. He's doing his Tom Brady impression right now. But like you said, Father Time does catch up with everybody, and we'll just have to see coming into this season. Maybe that ankle injury he suffered will be the start of it. I really hope it isn't, but that it did seem to slow him down the rest of that season. Hopefully it doesn't keep slowing him down, but if that was the case and LeBron wasn't even 70%, let's just say per se both our teams are in the finals. If LeBron's not 70%, we're not winning. I can say that confidently. I believe that the depth will catch up with us. I believe if you throw Thibault on LeBron, even if he is healthy, he's going to be annoyed. Thibault is a Patrick Beverly, but taller.
Yes. Yeah. I agree. I think, but I was actually going to say that is who like I said, I'm calling it. That's who I'm saying is going to be in the finals. It'll be the Lakers and the Sixers. And I mean, there's nothing in my mind to say that the Lakers won't get there. There really isn't. There's really not. So I'm excited for the next season to come. It's it's just just actually talking to someone that is like not, how can I say it? Like not like so one-sided or hating against one team. Like I can't do it here in Philly anymore. I just can't. My co-host Chris and I and our other co-host Pat, we get on our show and we have people on and we bring up the Sixers, and I lose it because they bring up Ben Simmons and I go nuts. Like you're seeing a very low key version of me right now because I'm by myself. So, but no, that's what I see. I see the Sixers and the Lakers in the finals next year.
I do kind of agree with you. It does piss me off on Twitter, people overwriting Ben Simmons for the rest of his career, saying that he's never going to be that guy. I believe that Philadelphia is not the place for him. I think I believe that he can flourish somewhere else better. I believe Philadelphia's win now Ben Simmons is like 2 to 3 years down the road to where he's that number one option, which I believe that he potentially could. He's got the defense already. His defense is nearly unmatched. In my opinion, I think he had a really good shot at Defensive Player of the Year this past year. I thought he maybe could have won it. But Ben Simmons, he mark our words. I will speak for you because I think you're going to agree with me here. He will be in MVP conversations before his career's over.
I agree. I absolutely agree. I mean, like you said, like whatever it is here, like he's just very comfortable here. And he's made the comments a few times that really annoy me where they'll ask him, like, what do you have to do to change, to improve your game? And he'll look at them and go, I'm an all-star. Like, and I'm like, dude, that's really young talk. That is a young, wet behind the ears. I had my own documentary telling everyone how great I'm going to be. And he's just like, dude, I'm an all-star. What more do you want? And it doesn't fly here. So a change of scenery will do him great. And that's the one thing that scares me about him possibly moving on, because I don't want to play the Ben Simmons I know he can be. I don't want to go up against that Ben Simmons because it's a jump shot and at least 47% free throws, and you have a bona fide team killer.
Well, I'm going to be perfectly honest. I don't think he needs a lockdown jump shot to be great. Like, for example, Giannis. His first couple years, he was getting stopped 24/7. He didn't have any sort of jump shot. He couldn't hit it. He couldn't shoot a rock into the ocean, right? But right now, he doesn't even have a great jump shot. Let's be perfectly honest. He's like a 40% shooter at best from 2, like the mid-range. He's like a 30% shooter from 3, but he can make it when it counts. If Ben Simmons can even just hit a 3 like twice a game, that's all we ask. Maybe shoot it like 5 times. Shoot 2 for 5. That's not great. But if he can do that, it's going to change his game so much, because look at Giannis. Granted, a lot of injuries down the road, but I don't doubt that he could have competed with any other team. I don't doubt that it would have been a competitive matchup playing the Bucks. Giannis doesn't have a jump shot, but he's become a 2-time MVP. If Ben Simmons can just make the defense even think that he might shoot this jump shot, because right now, Ben Simmons from the 3, nobody believes he's going to shoot it. I mean, we've all seen the picture of LeBron waiting at the paint. They don't think he's going to shoot it. If he can even have the defender even look over it, like, is he going to shoot this? I think the game's going to be in his palm. I think trading him will humble him a bit. I believe, like you said, he's got a bit too cocky. That young side of him showing. He's looking a bit like D'Angelo Russell right now. I believe the trade will completely humble him. And if he gets paired with the right team, right coach, in my opinion, I think Tibbs would be a great coach for him. Tom Thibodeau would have him playing the entire game and pushing him every night. I mean, you saw what he did with Julius Randle. Thibodeau can get the best out of a player. I think New York is Ben Simmons' number 1 location. If Ben Simmons could pick any team to go to, I believe New York should be his number 1 selection.
Oh yeah, I agree with that 100%. That should be where he goes. And like you said, for all the reasons, Thibodeau will push him. He'll get him to do what he wants. He like Ben has just been so used to everything here. Like I can tell you for a fact, like being here, everyone that is around Ben Simmons here in Philly right now, it's all family. Like he does not have anybody from from the organization around him to help mold him or guide him in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
The difference you brought up with Giannis and his shot,
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say that the difference between the two of them, Giannis shoots at least.
Mm-hmm.
He's not great, but he's at least doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, and I do agree with you. If Ben Simmons had just a small shot, like make them respect you. Don't go going in and they back away. Like they're inviting you to go in, and so stop and shoot the ball. Don't pass it. Just take the shot. And like you said, make them think. Like now, okay, he's growing a set and he's going to start shooting. So, and like I just loved it, like because he's LeBron James's boy. Like that's like his little king, as he calls him. For it was telling to me to watch LeBron James backing up and being like, go for it. Like I know you're not going to make it. I know you're not going to do it. So go for it. And Ben did what Ben does, and that's cower down and say okay and pass the ball away. So but you're right. If he shoots 5 threes a game, makes 2, then that changed the whole landscape of the offense. That changes the defense approaching how they're going to go towards him. So, and it's a shame. It all comes down to him, and here in Philly, it's just not going to work. It's just not.
I agree with that. I believe that Ben Simmons, once he makes that small change, leaks in the palm of his hand, he can do what he wants with it. He's one of those few players where you look at him and say he has the potential to run this league, but he just doesn't have the work ethic. Like you said, who doesn't listen to Kobe Bryant? When he would say something, Kobe Bryant, all about work, hardest worker I think we've ever seen. If he's telling you, hey, just get a jump shot down, and you just brushed off, and I meant to mention this earlier, this is where I completely lost faith in him in Philly. When he got asked about losing the game, and he says, so what? The Nets lost too. That really pushed me over there and said, he's not coming back. I mean, I got to ask what you thought about that comment.
What I thought about that was this close to being a brand new TV. That's how close. That's how close it was of what I thought of that comment. My fiance looked at me. I picked up a can of beer, and she's like, "Don't you do it!" So, when he said that, same exact thing. I said he's done. I said he's telling the fans and the league, like he's like, look, I don't care. Look at the other team. They lost. I don't care. And I thought, oh no, you did not just do that. Like, you can't do that, man. And that's where I lost it. And like I said, he also made that comment. I'm an all-star. Like, well, no, I want more than an all-star. I want superstar. I want Joel Embiid in your body taking shots. That's what I want. Because Embiid has that mentality. He wants to win, and you could tell that when in that last playoff game when Ben Simmons basically laid up on a wide open chance for either dunk or a little tap off the glass. He starts going back down the court, and you see Joel Embiid like yell at him, like literally say like, "What the F?" What are you doing? And then he did the teammate thing, slapped hands, and went back to get on defense. And then he said it after the game. You can't. He basically called him out. You can't give up shots, and that's what he did.
And
so
that shows you how weak Ben Simmons is. Joel Embiid calls him out once, and now he won't respond to his calls.
Yep.
Joel Embiid is going to go down as one of the best teammates he's ever had. You can tell that Joel Embiid actually cares about Ben Simmons. If he wanted Ben Simmons out last year, he would have been gone. If Joel Embiid went to the front office and said 3 years ago, I don't want Ben here, they would have traded Ben. He wanted to win with Ben, and obviously Ben just didn't care. I think Ben needs an attitude adjustment. He needs to rethink things, and once he does, like I said, he's going to run the league. But that's going to wrap it up for this episode. I really hope that hopefully I can come on your show sometime. I won't be a Philly hater, I swear. But huge thanks, man. I'll if you DM me your links to all your stuff, I will make sure they're in the description of this video. And last plug, last shout out, anything you want to say, man.
No problem. Hey, man, it was awesome to be on the show. Thank you for having me, number one. To any time you want to come on the show, we will gladly have you on. I know both my other broadcast partners were very upset that they couldn't make it tonight. Like one's at a soccer game and the other one's doing another show.
Hey.
But again, we have our website, cevsports.com. You can, like I said, find us on Facebook, on Twitter. We're on Instagram. When we go, we do our show live off StreamYard. We go to Twitch TV. So you can find us. Just look us up, CEV Sports. Find us anywhere on any social media platform.
All right. Appreciate you coming on once again. That's going to wrap it up. I'll see you guys in the next.